The crazy story of how Tesla almost failed before succeeding, the Elon Musk's gamble. The first thing you need to know about Tesla's near failure is that it came within inches of not even existing. And it wasn't just a close call. It was a full-on, do-or-die moment. Imagine a company, hailed today as a beacon of innovation, crumbling under its own weight, fighting not just against the market, but against time, money, and the very people who were supposed to be its lifeline. In the early 2000s, Tesla Motors wasn't much more than a dream, a wild idea from a few engineers who thought, maybe we can make electric cars cool. But that dream wasn't even on the radar of the average consumer. Heck, at that point, people barely thought electric cars were even a viable option. Fast forward to 2008, and Tesla, barely holding on, found itself in a battle that could have ended its story before it ever really began. The economy had just collapsed. The stock market was in free fall, and so was Tesla's fortune. They were running out of money, struggling to get the Roadster into production, and there was no certainty that the future would be bright. Investors were getting nervous, questioning whether the bold vision of an electric car revolution was too far-fetched. And then, as if to push them over the edge, Tesla's biggest financial backer, Daimler, started pulling back. Tesla was in trouble, real trouble. Elon Musk, the man who had poured his entire fortune into the company, was staring at bankruptcy. He had invested tens of millions of dollars, taken on huge risks, and now he was faced with a situation where he might lose everything. But what happened next? A move that many would call insane, and looking back probably was. Elon Musk, with a deep breath, made one of the most dramatic decisions of his life. He gambled it all of it. All the money he had left from his PayPal exit, his life savings, and his reputation on a company that had no guarantee of surviving. He was down to the wire. Tesla needed $40 million to stay afloat and finish the Roadster, but they had no investors willing to take the risk. So Musk decided he would fund it himself. He even told the Tesla board that he was going to personally cover the gap, and when the last of the cash was drained, there was no more room for error. Think about it. The whole company was riding on the back of a single car, a small electric sports car with a price tag far beyond what most people could afford. It was a niche product for the wealthy elite, and the road ahead looked bleak. But then something happened. Musk, driven by his belief in the electric car's future, pushed through the noise and delivered the unthinkable. The Roadster was finished. It was unveiled, and it was stunning. The car wasn't just any electric vehicle. It was a true masterpiece, sleek, stylish, and fast. In fact, it was so fast that it could rival most traditional sports cars. The message was clear. Tesla wasn't just about saving the environment. They were about redefining the very idea of what an electric car could be. Yet, that wasn't the moment of glory. That came later, because despite the Roadster's success, it still wasn't enough to pull Tesla out of the abyss. It was clear that they couldn't survive on a single luxury sports car. Tesla had no backup plan. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, they did. The financial crash of 2008 had a lasting impact. Investors were pulling away from electric vehicle ventures, and every traditional car company was laughing at Tesla's ambitious dream. But the real turning point, the game changer, came from an unlikely source, the U.S. government. In the middle of the chaos, as Tesla's future was hanging by a thread, they received a lifeline, a $465 million loan from the Department of Energy. It wasn't just a loan. It was the golden ticket that allowed Tesla to continue. But there was a catch. Tesla had to build a mass-market car, a real car for the people, a car that could be affordable, practical, and still retain the innovation they'd promised. It would take years of refining the technology, battling through manufacturing delays and overcoming countless setbacks. But the Model S was born. And with it, Tesla's fortunes changed forever. But even with the Model S, the struggles weren't over. Remember, Tesla was still a startup, still trying to gain traction in a world dominated by massive automotive companies with decades of experience. Production was slow, quality issues cropped up, and Musk faced relentless pressure to deliver. There were moments where the company was still dangerously close to collapse. But Elon Musk had something most other CEOs didn't: sheer, unrelenting determination. It wasn't about saving face. It wasn't about vanity. It was about believing in the vision. Musk believed electric cars were the future of humanity, and he refused to give up on that belief, even if it meant pushing himself and his company to the brink. And then, against all odds, things started to turn around. The Model S, when it finally hit the market, was unlike anything anyone had seen. It wasn't just an electric car. It was a revolution on wheels. The car was fast, it was sleek, and it was a joy to drive. People started talking about it, and then, more importantly, they started buying it. Tesla wasn't just a niche product anymore. It was a game changer, and it didn't take long for investors to notice. The company began to attract attention from all the right places, and slowly, but surely, the narrative started to shift. Tesla wasn't a fluke. It wasn't just a company built on luck. It was built on relentless ambition, innovation, and a willingness to risk everything. Today, Tesla is one of the most valuable companies in the world, and Elon Musk is one of the wealthiest men alive. But that success almost didn't happen. Tesla, at its core, is a testament to what happens when someone refuses to give up, even when everything is on the line. Musk's gamble wasn't just about money. It was about a belief in the future, in something better, in a cleaner, greener world. What's truly remarkable isn't just that Tesla succeeded. It's that, in a world where so many startups fail, Tesla's story is one of incredible survival. Against the odds, against conventional wisdom, and against the crushing weight of failure, Elon Musk proved that sometimes taking the biggest risks can lead to the most extraordinary rewards. And that, my friends, is how Tesla almost failed, and then succeeded in a way that changed the world forever.